Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Rune from Rune'sGuild, and this is another episode of RPG Horror Stories. Today's video, we are doing the sequel to Bell's Blues. This one is aptly named Bell's Blues 2 Electric Boogaloo. If you don't remember the first one, it should have gone live on Monday. So if you have not watched it, go ahead and watch it. And if you don't care to watch it, short story. Basically, Belle is a psychotic player who wants to find love through D&D and mutilates people to get there. But yeah, so that's pretty much all there is for an intro on this one. So I guess we will just go ahead and roll the post. So the campaign at the shop went on to Season 2. Setting changed to Icewind Dale, then the Astral Sea. It went on for a while. Life, though, has its ways. I had new responsibilities, so I drifted away from DMing, only rarely dropping by to help for a big event or play myself. Then the pandemic struck and the shop closed. I kept working during the year-long quarantine, but other than that, there was little else to do. So I was intrigued when a friend from the shop sent me an invite to a West Marches-style server he had set up. There were some red flags, like the strict rules of the server and the seemingly irrational ban of content that changed each week at the creator's whim, or the fact that he had created the server after getting in fights and abandoning 3 previous ones, but I didn't have the dull image back then, and honestly, I just wanted to scratch my itch at RPGs. So I decided to roll the least played and hardest class allowed and started playing, eventually even running some of my own games, and honestly, it was fun. Until one day, my messages ping with the arrival at the server. Belle. I shivered, but paid it no mind. Later that day, we had a DM meeting, and one of the DMs raised the subject, as he had played with her previously before, and it was not fun. I also chimed in that she did have a record, but the owner reassured us that she was fine. She just wanted a safe place to play and have fun, as she was kicked out by a few other servers. No red flags there. We decided to give her a chance, mainly because no one wanted to deal with the owner's whims, but as we talked it over, more people shared stories of games Belle had actually managed to ruin and groups she'd been kicked from. But hey, maybe she'd learn her lesson. Nope. Her new character was Morticia. Way to ruin Morticia Adams for me, the truly iconic and awesome character her abomination was based on. A shadow sorceress socialite that wanted to leave the gloom of the court and pressure of her rich family behind to forge her own path and find true love. There it is. So basically, emo Bella. Apparently that was another pattern, as more people confirmed. So she introduced the character and started role-playing in the server's channels, displaying some complete disregard on how roleplay worked. Jumping in conversations all over the place, using out-of-character knowledge from events she was not present for, as she talked over 3 different groups at different places simultaneously. The DMs tried to rein her in, but she just wouldn't get it. Her character talked over everyone, trying to prove herself better at everything. More knowledgeable than the trained in arcane and history maxed intelligence wizard, more agile and graceful than the trained in acrobatics and maxed dexterity elf rogue, and more charismatic than the expertly trained in persuasion and max charisma bard. There would be no problem if she picked a field and backed it with her abilities, but no. She had to be the Mary Sue, and she argued when she wasn't or when the spotlight left her for even just a little bit. It was worse in sessions with entire games derailed for hours if she happened to be playing with more inexperienced DMs. The owner of the server not only didn't mind, he found it fun and even joined in the chaos sometimes, bringing in a cartoon character himself in an ill attempt to woo her, as he did with all the girls in the server, as we learned later, but that's a horror story of its own. So naturally, talk started in the DM chat. What do we do? How do we kill her? How do we kill them? Still unsure if they meant the player or the character. People turned to me. I was experienced and I enjoyed more freedom in my sessions, as I had a reputation for running tight but fair games and the owner trusted me. I was against it. Killing a character is easy and it's bad. The DM has the power to do whatever they want. That was no solution. You never kill a character. A character should be made to kill themselves and thank the DM for it. A lesson should be learned. It was time I went nuclear. Writing this, I realize it sounds weird, bad even, but I didn't have the mental capacity to deal with all that. All the drama over a game that was supposed to be fun sounded and still sounds stupid to me. On any other occasion, I'd talk to the player directly, we'd find common ground, or if not, part ways. No shame in that, different people like different things. The game is better with people that all have the same sense of cool, and even when you find those, they may surprise you at times. It's fine and fun. But back then, I just wanted to vent, and Belle had repeatedly demonstrated that she didn't take to words. So the plan was simple. The adventure was ready and the trap was set. Just for good measure, we'd gotten all the problem players in the same game. I wouldn't kill anyone outright, and for no reason, but the game would include tough and unforgiving choices. The story went like this. North of the Moon Sea in central Faerun lies an ancient acropolis from where rules a lich so powerful that even the Church of Kelemvor knows to stay away, the King in Copper. The lich wants nothing to do with the living. He rules over empty land filled with ancient burial grounds, and he has but one rule. All beneath the earth are my domain. Stay away. The nearby towns respect that to the point that tomb raiding is a crime punishable by death, as it may anger the lich. But an aspiring necromancer seeks the lich's secrets and has entered the domain. The nearby town hastily hires adventurers to hunt the necromancer down and get out before the lich learns what's going on and retaliates. The heroes, all level 5 to 9, enter the burial grounds, bypass roaming undead, corner and confront the necromancer who has stolen a crystal from one of the burial grounds, and after a lengthy, tough fight, they manage to put him down. And as they do, they feel the temperature dropping, the shadows darkening, as a figure materializes at the burrow's entrance and floats towards them. The King in Copper has arrived. Now, I should mention here, I know full well the difference in power between the party and the lich. He was not there for a fight, he was intended as a purely social encounter. He was a boogeyman put there to scare them, get the artifact, and disappear, leaving them with a message to bring back to the world of the living after that. As they respected his demands, his pact still stands. He floats over to the one holding the crystal, incidentally the owner's irritating character, thanks them for cleaning this mess, and raises a skeletal hand demanding the crystal. The rest of the party backed away towards the door and assumed safety, but the owner stood his ground. He was ready to oppose a lich to give the others time to escape. He played a life cleric of Lathander and was not willing to just compromise with the lich. I sent him a PM. Me. Dude, he seems accommodating, but you get the feeling you should not cross him. Owner, dude, I know, I'm just role-playing my character. And that indeed he did well, maybe for the first time in his character's existence. Me, he will kill you, you know, I'm not joking. Owner, dude, I know, it's okay. I don't really like this character, and if he is to die, this scene is epic. Me, are you sure? Owner, totally, what a better way to go. I'm staring down a lich. I'm literally taken aback. I hadn't seen him play like that in a long time. He is describing how his character is indeed holding a cursed artifact and he'd rather destroy it altogether than return it. I felt bad for the entire thing. I didn't want to kill him. I considered the alternatives, like the lich respecting his devotion. It's not like he could hurt the lich anyway, so the lich could just keep him as a curiosity for a time, maybe release him later, or create an entire new adventure all around that. My creative juices were flowing. Phrasing, I know. It would be amazing. And then, of course, Belle happened. She was displeased for staying out of the spotlight for 10 minutes this whole discussion happened. So she had Morticia, who would escape with the others, magically teleport back, argued in length how she wouldn't have ran away, and no man gets left behind, even though everyone else did, and her character had never displayed any willingness to help her teammates or assure their well-being before. And she threw a shatter spell, because she still had spell slots, as she used none while her other teammates almost died and ran empty on the last fight. Aiming it perfectly in a room she didn't know the layout of, because come on, all burrows are the exact same. To hit things that were out of her line of sight, because come on, they talk, she can hear them and triangulate perfectly, including the lich, the crystal, and the cleric holding it. I'm past arguing at that point. The spell goes off, it does minimal damage to the lich, it breaks the crystal and drops the cleric, who, after a tough fight, was talking down a lich while being at 4 HP. Pity, says the lich, looking at the broken artifact, raises a finger at Morticia, and disintegrates her before disappearing. The others escape and return to the guild with an awesome story to tell about the bravery of the cleric and how he stayed back to buy them time, only for Belle to intersect, talking over people even without a character to remind them that she was there too and that it was her heroic action that saved the day. People called her out, I called her out, no lesson was learned, not by her. She spent the next 3 days in the server's voice chat retelling her heroic sacrifice to anyone that happened to log on, all while boasting how awesome her next character would be to have to top Morticia. I didn't log in for a few days, relaxing and thinking of the cool new story arc I could make of this and how I'd introduce it, which was another mistake, because if I'd logged off more frequently, I might have prevented this disaster. During that time, a new girl joined the server, and as it happens, a flock of knowledgeable veterans, that's fair, came to the damsel's aid to help her with the insurmountable obstacles that were the rules of 5e. The new girl found solace under the wing of another active female player, Belle, who convinced her that they could make a joined background, as she was also about to introduce a new character after the recent mishap, and then they could engage in awesome RP in the server channels. The new girl happily accepted. She rolled a young paladin coming from a noble family that wanted to make some good change in the world instead of staying in the manor. Cliché, but it works. Then came Belle's Arthur, a young bard and artist sponsored from a young age by Paladin's family because of his great talent. He saw Paladin growing and became enamored with her, writing many songs about her, and when Paladin finally left for adventuring, followed her to keep her safe, under orders from her father, and to write her story in song. And again, it would have been fine if all this was discussed with New Girl previously. Instead, Arthur just appeared out of the blue one day, and without any context or a heads up, started to aggressively court the Paladin, as if they were betrothed and madly in love. All while New Girl and her Paladin just wanted to meet the rest of the characters, have some adventures, learn the game, and have fun. Instead, random bits of previously undiscussed backstory were shoehorned everywhere, like bringing up how the Paladin fell off her horse one day and scratched her knee and cried, but the bard was there to kiss it away and sing a healing song and wipe her tears with his shirt, all while revealing his awesome abs. Which the hardened and pious tomboy paladin that practiced with a sword instead of playing with dolls denied ever happening. And all this happened as they discussed defensive strategies with the captain of the guard during an imminent goblin raid. So you can imagine my facepalm when I saw a PM one day from the new girl saying, "Hi, Mr. DM, what is wrong with Belle and how do I make her stop?" We tried talking to Belle again, but again, she denied any wrongdoing, taking it as a personal assault. We may have gotten out a bit too strong the moment the statement, "Please stay away from my character, I don't feel comfortable," gets challenged. I don't know what else to do other than walk away. And maybe we should have. But we put work in our characters and the server. We were not willing to give all of that up, so I was again called to kill Arthur. I didn't like this hitman role, and the character was not my problem, the player was. I went to the owner, he just swept it under the carpet as good fun. I explained it wasn't anymore, people were about to call it quits, so either he talked to her, presented a yellow card and took action, or there would be more problems. He finally caved in, he talked to her, and finally seeing the owner didn't have her back anymore, she backed off. She interacted less and less until she found a new server and started focusing her efforts to find true love there and didn't bother us anymore. And nothing of value was lost. I wish we didn't have to take such drastic measures. I wish we could have found an understanding and kept playing together as friends, but some people just don't get it. We kept playing on the server through quarantine, we met many new awesome people, and with some still play today. And it would have been a real shame if all this was ruined by the inconsiderate actions of one person. After that, they were really careful of red flags and how to handle similar situations. Okay, so that's about it for that one. Let's see. How do I feel about it? Well, first off, I guess it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as the first one, honestly. There was no mutilation in this one. There was no chest carving and wax burning. Beyond that, it was pretty normal. I understand the issue. She's very spotlight hoggy, very, very main character syndrome, but no, it's not even a but. I'm not going to defend her. I just feel bad, I suppose, because, it's sort of the idea of, if the escape is to be the main character in D&D, why, if that makes any sense. Sort of just if you sort of require this main character energy when you play the game, are you ignored in real life? I don't know. I guess I just feel bad for Belle, because obviously they just want to find love in the game, and hopefully that it expands outward beyond it. I guess we saw in the first one that it was sort of just they wanted to escape from their just sort of standard life that they live. Which I understand. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I just again, I just feel bad that it's so. I'm not entirely sure what to say. Just like a struggle, I guess, to exist in a romantic way in the game and be the hero. Like, I understand a hero complex, like I totally get it, it happens. But the attention hogging is I also understand that, but I just not try. What am I trying to say? Just sort of unfortunate that this is what they need, but it's also the thing that is causing them to not get it, if that makes any sense at all. Like, the craving of being the main character is the thing that is stopping her from being able to be the main character, because she's not allowing the growth to be there. She's just expecting it to happen. You know, it's almost like in the first story, they talked about how they were like rich, like the daughter of local law enforcement, well off, you know, an aspiring professional singer kind of thing. So it's sort of like using D&D as an escape, but not able to actually be somebody else is the issue. It's the fact that she's expecting the privileges that she has in real life to carry over into the game that is causing her to not be able to get the things that she wants, and the lack of ability to understand that, or sort of like notice it at all, I suppose, is where I'm coming from. It's sad to see, and I hope that they eventually, you know, get kicked in the head and sort of realize what's going on, and, you know, and get better. But you know, I doubt it's gonna happen. Narcissism and all that. But yeah, I mean, I guess this wasn't as bad as the first one. I could actually read the whole story without having to cut out a huge chunk of it because of well, you know, I mean, there's not really much else to say about this. It was pretty straightforward. So yeah, I guess, I mean, that's about it. Friendly reminder, I am looking into possibly reading other types of stories, like real life horror stories, and I don't know, maybe just regular Reddit posts. I don't know. But if you know, would care to see any of that, let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, leave a comment. You know, it can be anything. Just, again, please not anything weird or fetishy. You know, nothing about carving chests open with a dagger and pouring wax on it, and, you know, sort of stuff like that. You know, you can say anything you want. If you can't think of a comment, say I don't know, just say hi. And if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like it, let me know. I'm sorry, I'll do better. Yeah, but that's about it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.